Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my kitchen. And I thought for today, what I will do is I'll post a video for you on how to make matzahs at home. Matzah is the traditional Passover bread. It is the unleavened bread that was used prior to the Exodus. And the reason that it was unleavened was, I think from what I've read, that there wasn't enough time to let the bread rise, and so they made bread using flour and water. You can also, if you would like, add salt. You can add other flavorings, you can add olive oil, but for today I'm just going to make a matzah using traditional water and flour, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt for some taste. And so one of the reasons that I was thinking that we should do this video today is because this coming Sunday's text tells us that Jesus was revealed to them in the breaking of bread. And if my calculations are right, and if my reading of the gospel, especially the one in Luke 24, it says that the following day, or the first day of the week, which would have been like today, I think a Monday, and so therefore on this Monday I'm going to make matzah. It was traditionally eaten by the Jews for 7 days. In some cases they say 8. I'm not sure, I didn't go fully into the research on that. But what I know is that they ate unleavened bread, and it was the only flour they were allowed to eat. And so here goes my take on matzah. I'm going to do a little bit of a different kind of a matzah. It's not going to be square. I'm going to make them circles so that you can use them for your communion when we meet on Sunday at the Eucharist. So what you're going to need is flour, which is what I have here. You're going to need some water, and then obviously a pinch of salt in this little tot glass. And so I have 150 grams of flour. I have 70 milliliters of water. So what you need is 150 grams of flour, 70 milliliters of water. Now the one thing that you need to remember, and I thought maybe we can do it as a little challenge at home, is that matzah is made in under 18 minutes. The reason that it is made in under 18 minutes, it is said that even though bread or flour and water mixed together does not have any yeast or self-raising flour or those things that make it rise, if it goes on for longer than 18 minutes, it already starts to rise, and that is due to the fermenting process that takes place during the mixing of the water and the flour. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer here. I'm going to set a timer. I'm going to try and do this in under 18 minutes. There is no way that this matzah is going to be kosher, but at least I'm going to try and do it in under 18 minutes so that it can be totally unleavened. I got my sidekick here again, and I'll get her to start the process and start the timer. So the other thing that you need to remember besides the 18 minutes is that you need to have your oven extremely hot. What I've done is I've preheated my oven to 260 degrees. Now I'm not going to be showing you how I'm rolling the flour for the whole 18 minutes, the dough. What I am going to do is I'm going to edit this video to basically cut down the amount of viewing time. But what you will find is that this stopwatch, using my sidekick's phone, will start once I start the process, and it'll continue until the end. I'm also going to use this tot glass to make a little bit of a different kind of a matzah. I'm going to use this to cut circles out of the dough when it is ready. And so here goes my take, and what I am going to do first is my oven is preheated to 260 degrees. I'm going to get myself a flat basin, and so I've put my baking tray into the oven and I'm about to start. And so Chelsea, would you set the timer for me? And here we go. Timer is going, as you can see. Timer's going, and I'm going to try and do this in under 18 minutes. So what I am going to do is I'm going to pour my water into the flour mix. Then I'm going to chuck in my salt, and I'm going to keep this aside because I'm going to use it a bit later. I'm going to use a wooden spoon because it's going to be kind of sticky in the beginning to mix this flour into a little bit of a kind of a paste, and then I'm going to get my hands stuck in. So while I'm mixing this, you'll find that it's very flaky. Doesn't even look anything like a bread dough, but as you mix it, it'll start to form a nice consistent dough. And so here goes. Hands are washed, bowls are clean, counter is clean, and I start mixing the dough in. Once I've got most of the flour in, I then turn it onto my counter, set the bowl aside, and start to knead the dough in. The dough is very tough, very strong, not normally the kind of bread dough that you would normally get when you're making bread. And so I've been kneading the dough now for about 5 minutes, actually 4 minutes, 20 seconds, and it's kind of got a nice consistency. That's the kind of consistency you're looking for. A nice springy dough, very even. I'm then going to roll it into a little roll, and then I'm going to cut it into 4 small pieces. And you then roll them into little balls. And so by the looks of it, I'm well within my time limit. I'm going to get some flour. You're going to need a nice floured worktop so that when you're rolling out the matzah, they don't stick to the counter. The secret to making a good matzah is to roll it as thin as possible. I'm not really interested in the shape that I'm rolling because I'm going to pre-cut my matzah. I'm going to try and roll it as thin as possible. Rolling it, flipping it, kind of like when you make rotis at home. But a very thin roti this is going to be. Now that I've got my matzah nice and thin, nice thin papery matzahs, I'm going to get my sidekick to come in and cut some circles. But before we do that, do you want to take a fork and you want to poke holes right through the matzah? The reason for that is so that when you're baking it, it doesn't rise. So Chelsea's going to dip herself some flour and she's going to cut the matzahs for me and set them aside. Here we go, Chelsea. Your turn. While Chelsea's busy there, I'll roll out the other matzah. So that's the second one, all nice and rolled out, ready for Chelsea. And I'm going to go into the third one. Remember, always flouring your top, just so that your matzahs don't stick. So there's me third one, and I'm looking at the time and I'm halfway through, so I'm not going to roll this one because I want to keep into time. I'll make it after, although it wouldn't be within the 80 minutes. We'll just have them as a snack. I'm going to help Chelsea cut circles. Now we get to place our matzahs, and we are 11 minutes in, which gives me enough time to put them into the oven because I only need 7 in the oven. You've got to be very careful how you take out the tray from the oven. The tray is very hot. And then what I do is, if you can see this, I'm just placing the matzahs on this hot tray. I'm not allowing my sidekick to help me. I don't want her to get burnt, although she's worked with a hot oven before. And so my matzahs go into the oven. I've still got enough time, and I'm going to put them into the oven for 7 minutes. So while the matzahs are in the oven, just to say that you can drizzle some olive oil or brush some olive oil on top of your matzahs before you put it in the oven. Sprinkle some salt on top, gives it a nice little flavor. Sometimes people make pizzas out of matzah bread, nice crispy pizzas. And so you can make one big circular matzah. Obviously try and do it in under 18 minutes. It's very nice. It's a nice challenge. And sprinkle your tomato base and make your pizzas. And so as soon as that's out of the oven, we'll be back again, and I will let this clock keep running because I'm going to do this in under 18 minutes, and I can already see that I'm going to make it. So I'm going to leave this clock running, and I'm going to do this in under 18 minutes. Now I'm not sure whether the matzah is supposed to be prepared on a counter in under 18 minutes or in the oven, in and out of the oven in under 18 minutes. So because I'm not sure, I'm just going to do it in under 18 minutes. And so I'm back again, and my matzahs are in, and I've got another 30 seconds left. And if you look at my clock, I am well within the 18 minutes. This clock has been running from the time I started until now, and I'm going to take out my matzahs, which are ready now. And so if you've done this right, your matzahs should be ready. There should be some nice little bumps on them, kind of like a cream cracker. They're very hot at the moment, but I'm going to take one, try and hold it up to the camera for you so that you can have a look at what your matzah should be looking like. And so that's your matzah. And if you listen carefully, it's a nice cracker bread. And so, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy making your matzahs. Remember to try and keep within the 18 minutes time limit. I'm now going to leave these to cool on the counter. Hopefully Chelsea doesn't get to them before Sunday. I'm going to have to lock these ones away somewhere because she loves matzahs. So thank you again for joining. Happy making matzahs for Sunday, and maybe you can use them for your communion at our Eucharist service online. Thank you.